Friends, how are you students? You are most welcome in this next video of next chapter number 2, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So students, it is very important for your board exam as well as NEET and AIMS exam also. So students, be concentrated, it is very interesting. Let's discuss each and everything, each concept in this chapter will be easy. So let's discuss about it. So students, you know sexual reproduction in earlier chapter we have discussed that sexual reproduction has 3 events. You know what are the events in sexual reproduction we have discussed earlier. So I want to remind you, first event is pre-fertilization structure and events. So pre-fertilization structure and events you are looking here. So these are the pre-fertilization structure and events. What are these structures and events? Structure of reproductive parts, structure of reproductive parts of male and female. So next, gamete formation and gamete transfer. Next one, second event is fertilization. Then next, third event is post-fertilization event. So students, only these are 3 events we have to discuss in this chapter. So first we will discuss about pre-fertilization events, then after fertilization, and in last post-fertilization events. So students, let's discuss about the first step, pre-fertilization events. So what the structure of male reproductive part and structure of female reproductive part in flowering plant. So students, I want to remind you, you know flowering plant is the category of the plant, it is the higher category of the plant in which all the all the plants have flowers. You know, this is after gymnosperm, it is known as angiosperms. So angiosperms, it is the category of higher plants in which all the plants have flower, or you can say these are the flowering plants. Okay, got it? So let's discuss about the structure of reproductive part. So students, first we will discuss, before it I want to discuss with you that what is the reproductive part of angiosperm, or what is the reproductive part of plant. So let's discuss about it. You know, plant body has 2 parts. What are these parts? You know, first part is somatic part of the body. What is it? You know, except the reproductive part, all the parts of plant body are known as the somatic part of plant body. You know, next one is reproductive part, So reproductive parts, you know students, which is the reproductive part in plant? Reproductive part is flower. So flower is the reproductive part. You know, flowers are very fascinating structure, and flowers attract most of the peoples or all the peoples toward themselves. So students, flowers is the fascinating or attractive structure of the plant. And you know where it is found? It is found in the shoot of plant. So let's discuss about the structure of flower. So here I am drawing the structure of a simple flower. You know, what is it? Simple flower. So let's discuss. This is the simple flower. So students, in this flower you are looking here, these are some structures of the flower. Here also we are getting 2 type of parts in the flower. What they are? Accessory and necessary parts. So in flower, if we will say, these are 2 type of parts are found in a flower: accessory part and necessary part. Accessory and necessary parts of flower. So what are the accessory parts of flower and what are the necessary parts of flower? Let's discuss. You know students, accessory means the parts of flower which indirectly participate in reproduction. Or we can say only these part only supports to the necessary part which directly participate in reproduction process. So what are the accessory parts? You know, this is stalk. Stalk, you know, it is the base of flower, or you can say by which flower is attached to plant body. So this is stalk, this is sepals, these are petals. So these all are these three parts you are looking here. These three parts are accessory part. So accessory parts these are. Now what are the necessary parts? So let's discuss. You know, you are looking here these two parts. So what they are? In earlier classes you have studied very well. This is the stamen, and this one is in center, this is pistil. So pistil. So students, you are looking here, these stamen and pistil, these are the two part of flower. These are necessary part. Necessary part. Why these are called necessary? Because in these part of the flower, male and female gametes are formed. So that is why these are necessary part of flower. So now students, this is overall structure of the flower. We are getting only two part necessary. This is stamen, this is male reproductive part, and pistil, this is female reproductive part. So now one by one we will discuss about the stamen and pistil. So let's discuss here. First we will discuss about the stamen. So stamen, first part of necessary part, first content of the necessary part, this is stamen. So if I will draw the structure of stamen, it will look like it, you know. So here this is filament, by which it is attached with the help, it is attached with flower or thalamus. Next one is anther. What is anther? Anther is the topmost region of the stamen. Here it is the swollen part and lobed part in which pollen grains are formed, or you can say microspores are formed. So this is anther. So here this is anther, this is filament, so this is the stamen. Students, now we will discuss in detail about the anther, you know, because here this is the structure in which microspore or pollen grains are formed. So let's discuss about the structure of anther. Students, anther, I drawn one structure earlier, so you know, this is like this. This is like this. So this is, you know, this is the anther. This is bilobed anther. Bilobed anther. So you can say this is also known as the dithecous. Dithecous anther. Dithecous means, here di means two, thecus is the term derived from the theca. So theca, what does it mean? It means lobe. So how many lobes are found? Two lobes. So that is why one lobe at this side, one lobe at this side. That is why it is dithecous anther. So sometime anther may be monothecous. What is monothecous? So let's draw it. So this is monothecous anther because only one lobe is found, no two lobe or no any other lobe. That is why this is monothecous anther. So this is known as monothecous anther. So this is monothecous anther. You know students, mainly you look the flower, these have the bilobed or dithecous anther, but this is monothecous anther. Where does it found? It is found in China rose. China rose. So student, do you know what is the scientific name of China rose? This is Gudhal in Hindi and this is China rose. It is the common name of this one. But what is the scientific name of this? This is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Hibiscus rosa sinensis, it is the scientific name of China rose. So in China rose, monothecous anther is found. So students, you know, if we will cut the bilobed structure in middle, in transverse section, so how it looks like this? So let's draw it here. It looks like it. It will look like it. So if I will draw 3D structure, you are looking here. So this one is the transverse section of this one. What is it? Anther. Which anther? Dithecous anther. So this is transverse section. So it will look like it. So here some layers are found in this one. So like this. So these layers are present throughout the lobes. So inside these layers, here two circular sac-like structure or empty places are found. So students, you know, each lobe also have two sublobe. These two sublobe. So you know, so it is the tetralobed structure looking inside, but from outside it looks like bilobed or dithecus. So here in each sublobe one sac-like structure is found. This one is known as the microsporangia. Microsporangia. So what is it? Microsporangia. Microsporangia is the structure in which microspores are formed. That is why it is named so. Microsporangia means angia means sac-like structure or cavity in which microspores are formed. That is why it is known as microsporangia. So in these two lobed structure, 4 microsporangia are found. So here 4 microsporangia are found. So let's draw the magnified structure of one microsporangia. Let's draw it, and it is very important question in your board exam. So let's discuss about it. So students, if we will draw the magnified structure of microsporangia, so look at here, this will look like this. So students, if you practicize the diagram, it is very important for you. If you will practicize the diagram, this is very important because many of the diagram were asked to draw in your board exam. That is why you have to draw all the diagram which are given in NCERT. So let's discuss in detail. You know students, what I am drawing? These are the layers found in microsporangia. So these layers you are looking here, these layers are, which I am drawing, these are protective layers of what? Protective layer of microsporangia, and they protect which component? They protect microspore which is formed or which is going to be formed inside this microsporangia. So students, you are looking here, one most important that I am drawing, this is the last layer of microsporangia. You are looking students, this is most important layer of that one, microsporangia. So students, you are looking the first layer of microsporangia, this is the outermost layer. This is what? This is epidermis. Epidermis. And inside the epidermis, one another layer is found, unicellular. This is known as, what is it? Endothecium. Endothecium. So endothecium, and inside you are looking the pinkish layers. These layers are known as middle layers. And this one, the innermost layer. This is very important, and many of the time it is asked in your exam. What is it? Tapetum. So this is tapetum. It is very important layer. Students, this layer, it is nourishing in nature, and which nourish what? Which nourish these cells or tissues present inside it. So what are these tissues? These tissues are known as sporogenous tissues. What? Sporogenous tissues. So these tissues are known as sporogenous tissues. So what does it? Sporogenous tissues. So sporogenous tissues, one cell of sporogenous tissue is known as the MMC. What does it mean? What is the full form of MMC? Microspore mother cell. So microspore mother cell, what is the abbreviation of it? MMC. So MMC is the cell which is going to form the microspore after the meiosis division. You know, each and every gamete from the diploid body is formed Which division? With the help of meiosis cell division. So students, this is MMC. Again, in next video I will tell you that how MMC forms the next content, which is the pollen grain or microspore. So students, let's discuss about the function of these layers. Epidermis, it is the protective layer. You are looking here, it is the outermost, that is why it is protective layer. And endothecium, it is also the protective layer. So here this is endothecium, and sometime these middle layer and endothecium, they helps in the dehiscence of the microspore. After the maturation of the microspore in microsporangia, when dehiscence, after the rupturing of the microsporangia, dehiscence occurs. So in dehiscence, endothecium and middle layers, these layers help in dehiscence. Dehiscence means spreading of the or rupturing of the microsporangia, spreading of the microspores. Okay. So let's discuss about the tapetum. Tapetum, it is the nourishing layer which nourishes the sporogenous tissues, or which provide the nutrition to sporogenous tissues present inside the tapetum. Sometime tapetum is multinucleate. Multinucleate means sometime it becomes multinucleate. These cells fuse to each other and their cytoplasm get mixed, and that is why one cell looks like binucleate or multinucleated. So it is also the question which is asked in your exam. So students, this is about the microsporangium. So we have discussed about the male reproductive part of the flower in detail. In next video we will discuss about the female reproductive part of flower. Okay, thank you for watching this video.